This is to ground you.
That's what that motion is. Okay.
Yeah. Did you not do theater?
I did, yes.
No excuses then.
We're not even
Hey. Okay. Hello. No, I hated that. Hello to anybody who has not joined me before. Welcome. And for anybody who is joining again, thank you. It's so lovely to have all of y'all here, including this beautiful creature who is joining me again. I somehow roped her into it. The fabulous Mistress Leah Hunt. And I am your host, the goddess Seraphina. And this is my channel that I am very much still kind of figuring out. The general gist is we are both in the kink and BDSM world and just alternative lifestyle, and we're also neurodivergent, and have been feeling called to just give voices to people in those spaces. And I am a tangent talker who struggles to shut up and figured I might as well make the most of that and talk to my friends. So welcome. Do you have anything to say for yourselves?
I'm happy to be back. I'm thrilled that the initial interview received so much positive attention, so much praise from the public that we're doing it again.
Indeed, this is very much by fan request.
Fan request.
They begged you to come back. Speaking of the fans, difference from last time, where, as we said, we were both off the cuff, that we've decided that one of us should be on the cuff. And that will be me for tonight. And to be on the cuff, we have some questions to guide and direct us today. Are you ready to jump in?
I'm ready. Let's go.
You ready to get questions?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Interrogate me.
Let's unveil you. Last time, we talked a bit about your dom journey and specifically struggling with kind of owning your dominant side. So what specific practices helped you embrace that?
Well, I think it's kind of, and you and I have talked about this in our own lives, our private lives. It wasn't so much that I struggled with owning my dominance, right? Because I did. My relationship with kink, my lifestyle relationship is very much colored by my drug and alcohol use. So I would dominate. I was just inebriated while doing so, not doing it in a way that was caring. So I think for me, the struggle really was around getting sober. And I would say this with sex in general. I think it was maybe not difficult, but it was unusual to be intimate with people without using substances, obviously, because I've been doing it since I was sexually active. So,
Yeah, and I definitely resonate with that, and I know we kind of touched on that last time as well. And I know for me, and I question it for you, if it does still kind of hold true that it was a struggle with owning your dominance, like you said, like owning your dominance sober, like owning it yourself, like in your full power, and that I know for me it was kind of like the only way that it felt safe to express that was if I had the kind of like excuse or like alcohol, substances, like that gave me permission.
100%.
And especially if that then wasn't received the way I wanted it to be, that I could just default to like, well, like I was so drunk, like I was on like 5 different things last night. And so like I absolved me of taking responsibility for those actions. And again, like it was very freeing that it kind of like gave me permission to be my full self. And like you said, definitely not in the healthiest of ways for myself and often then for others too.
For sure.
And with that, I think that's also something we talked a bit about is that just the things that I wish we could have told our younger selves, or like vocabulary that I wish our younger selves would have had, or just having some sort of model for our younger selves. So that was definitely what for me was missing, was that feeling like we talked about, like being a fuckboy, because that was kind of, that was the role model that we had. That was like the character. That was like, okay, like where where does this behavior fit? Who acts like this and gets away with it? Fuck boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But anywho, that's my little tangent.
I will say, I think too, it's interesting because the way I came up, growing up, I was really lucky to be involved in like DIY, punk, and anarchist spaces where being queer, being kinky, etc. But that was very much, it was very much accepted on one hand, which is awesome. But on the other hand, you know, there's still, especially during that particular time period, because I mean, this is pre-Me Too, pre honestly, a lot of political shifting that's happened within the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
It still was really taboo to be femme and express desire.
Yeah.
You know, you had to do it in specific ways.
Specific way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's interesting because on one hand, it's like being kinky, no one really bat an eye at that, but maybe it's just something about the sexual intensity and enjoyment I would bring to the table. And maybe this is also just something I internalized where it's like I would go, it was scary. It's scary, it's intimidating because it is so intense.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that I definitely felt as well. And in particular, something I would say often was like that I've always been kinky and known I was kinky, and kind of what you were saying of like growing up in Chicago, like overall was like pretty like accepting of being different, being queer, being weird, whatever, non-conforming, but it still felt, it was like a third binary. Like it was like you could be non-conforming in this way, and so the fact that I was non-conforming, like truly like off the rails in my own way, was so intimidating for people, and was so, I think especially it was that feeling of like always being the most open-minded in the room, or being the most like sexually curious in the room, or being the most, like even if it wasn't, even if I was faking it, like being the most like sexually confident in the room. And it was less of like a confidence of like confidence in my abilities, and more of a confidence of like not caring because of the open-mindedness and being there to explore and to experiment, and like having such a strong desire to do that and like to figure it out together and to go on that journey together, that I wanted to explore with people, and that freaked a lot of people out. Is that similar for you?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. At some point, my friends, and this is still a nickname that I have, but my nickname is Bad Girl, which actually, as hilarious and cute as that sounds, it did something. It kind of fucks me up a little bit. Because then I'm like, I'm always the bad one.
It's the identity thing. Yeah.
It is. And that,
people keep putting you into that box.
Right, and we have tequila and cocaine to thank for that.
Indeed. I had that era as well. That was also my thing, which again, like later on, realizing my neurodivergence, and specifically like the autism, and I think this is related to it. And of course, like a ton of other things too, but like the fawning aspect and the alexithymia aspect, which is I struggle to know what I'm feeling in the moment, and thus I end up saying yes to a lot of things that I don't actually want to say yes to.
Right.
And like in that micro moment, like I get so carried away, also being just such an empath, like I'm so carried away by the energy and intoxicated by the energy around me that I am not, essentially like I'm not able to like think and process for myself. And it's like I didn't start realizing until like end of college. Especially the best part was that I used to do this thing at parties, like senior year this started, where my friends would call it my recharge mode, that we would be like out on the town or at a frat party or just like wherever it was, out in like some social space, and I would just like pause, my face would go blank, and I would collapse over on myself, like still standing, but like folded over, like nose to my knees, and just like rest there for however long, and then pop back up and be ready to go again. And half the time I was like blackout, like didn't remember doing this, but I knew like when somebody told me that I did that, I immediately was like, oh yeah, like I realized I was like, I like it's too much stimulation.
Yeah.
which again didn't have that vocabulary, didn't realize it's what I was doing, but intuitively I was just like, this is too overwhelming.
You're like,
But also, I don't want to
shutting down.
lose my, I don't want to lose my friends, and like I don't want to like get lost or whatever. So I was like, literally, all I need is a moment to myself. Where can I get a moment to myself? That's for someone.
Brilliant strategy.
Someone on somebody's phone still has a photo of me doing it. Like at one of these parties.
Somebody, wherever you are, please send Serafina the pic
of me
them
in recharge mode.
In recharge mode.
But forgetting where that came from. Let's see, we were talking about our cocktail. Again, it does feel like it was like making our true selves more palatable to others, as well as in a way like to ourselves. Yeah, because again, like that, it's like not having a space where that was accepted makes it hard for you to accept yourself, and very lonely. Which I know that was also a piece for me, was going between the desperate desire for community and realizing that for a time community meant like shrinking myself and getting sick of that, and then becoming the misanthrope and being like, fuck everyone, I don't need anybody, I'm gonna be my full self. And that in and of itself, like that was so isolating and also unhealthy. It was like the pendulum was just swinging all around. I was like, where is the balance?
Yeah.
Where are the people that will see me for me and not just tolerate it, but embrace it, and embrace it in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Okay, getting back on the cuff. Thinking about younger self and about where you are now, what do you feel that younger version of you needed to hear?
Okay, we're going to get a little mystical here.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it would have been a telling. I think I wish I could have given myself the embodied experience that I had later of merging with a dark, feminine force that was larger than me, and being like, oh, I'm a part of because for me, it's like I'm a part of a larger legacy of femme people who were persecuted, shunned, killed for being whole human beings, essentially. And then I could have found myself in that lineage. Because I've had experiences, and these terms, you and I have talked about this too, but like the masculine, feminine stuff, it is garbage language, but I think I don't really have better words to describe what that is, besides, this instinct in me that for some reason, because of my body, it gets assigned to this body in a particular negative light. You know what I mean?
Well, I absolutely know what you mean. We definitely struggle with the duality things, and again, I think this was something that we covered last time, was just the recognizing the benefit of using dualistic terminology is for the sake of communication, of understanding concepts. And just what you were saying of so much of it is like, what is objective truth versus having to recognize that unless we exist in a vacuum, we can't escape that a portion of our identity is coming from society's imposition of identity on us, and is coming from how others are perceiving us. Like, that is a piece of it. And that really fucked with me growing up, was that disconnect and that frustration, which, coming back to the cuff, does lead into, there we go, my other questions. You mentioned last time that you've got a psychology background, specifically. I know you studied the work of Carl Jung. So what are some ways that influences your play style?
This is good.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess it's worth saying that my particular, so Carl Jung's type of psychology, Freud created psychoanalysis and Carl Jung created depth psychology, is what it's called. But depth psychology is essentially, it's the study of the subconscious and unconscious mind through art and dream work, primarily those two, working with images, with the imaginal, with symbols, etc. Learning how to decode and make meaning from those psychic artifacts. Anyway, so that's the groundwork. But my focus in the program was called Community Liberation, Indigenous, and Eco-Psychologies.
Ooh, tell me about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's the goal of our little facet of the program is to decolonize depth psychology, essentially. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a decolonial take. Because Carl Jung's framework, though helpful, it also, in labeling, it fractures the psyche. It doesn't, he mined so much valuable, it's not even just information, but I'll use the term information from so many different cultures, and both like infantilized those cultures and then didn't give them credit. There's just a lot of things.
God damn it, Carl.
I know.
Do better.
So anyway, all that to say, I think for me, where I'm coming from with it is I often use this example, like for in the context of like activist spaces, because I would notice this a lot, right? You have the male anarchist who's a diehard feminist, anti-fascist, etc., and he can walk the walk and he can talk the talk, but in his private life he enjoys watching women get gangbanged. That's what gets him off. Mm-hmm. That's what his desiring nature gravitates towards, and so there's a dichotomy there, right? Mm-hmm. According to society. Sure. Like, okay, you have these urges, but you have these other beliefs. They cannot be reconciled. You must hide all of this, your private sexual life. Mm-hmm. Even though our private sexual lives, our desire in nature is so much of what motivates us. And it bleeds into everything. Everything. How we move through the world, how we spend our money, the choices we make, the company we keep. So deep. It runs so deep. Mm-hmm. And people don't ever like to really talk about that in these types of spaces. Even while they're saying stuff like, I don't know. We talk about these things too abstractly and we don't get down and dirty with it. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe part of the struggle with the dominance for me is being like, I have been spending my whole life fighting these larger systems of oppression. I've studied power and power dynamics from this perspective. I hate authority. I hate people in power. I hate people that want power over others. Yes. And yet, I love it personally. Mm-hmm. That was the difficult thing to reconcile. Yeah. But I found through, in thinking about depth psychology, these unconscious motivations, and in trying to make myself whole and not cut off or fragment, because that doesn't do anything good. That only creates a schizophrenic society, which we are living in today. Instead, I'm like, okay, I can integrate it in the form of play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I love what you were saying about I was going to ask you, like, as soon as you said like that you recognized that like you have this like hatred of authority, of people who desire power, of people in power, and yet you want power for yourself. And I was going to say, like, why? And then you mentioned, like, so you have like explored like what are your motivations? Why do you desire power?
Why do I desire power? I think it's very animal. I think it runs. It's like, once again, it's a subconscious or maybe even unconscious murky terrain that's like instinct. Mm-hmm. And it's not so much a rational. It's not really a rational thing I can describe.
Okay, primal.
It's primal. Yeah, for sure. It's primal. It's sexual. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I couldn't articulate it with my mind because it's such a body field.
Can I offer something?
Please offer.
Okay. I've been kind of exploring this within myself as well, because we are one. Which is why I'm curious if this will hit with you, which is, in a way, for me, it's like desiring power almost because like we deserve it, in the sense that we're going to use it for good, like use it properly, or use it almost like from like a nurturing standpoint of like when I dom, Like and this was a part of my journey, like owning my dominance, was that realizing how good I am at dominating somebody else because of how much we care about other people and how much we see other people, value other people, and that like so much of our like us having power, or us like the pursuit of power, and again, correct me if you don't feel this way, but it's more of desiring the gift of somebody like giving us the permission or allowing us and trusting us to be in power over them, rather than, I know the anarchist in me, like I just like these systems that I did not have a decision about giving up power to, and feeling like I am at the mercy of a system that's not serving me. And it's so for me, it's like my desire for power is very much about being a protector. And that's also why in my soul, I'm like, that's why I deserve this.
Yeah. I think that resonates to a point.
Okay.
But I'm an evil fuck, man, because it all exists within us. And I don't need, I shouldn't say need, like, I don't, it doesn't need to be good. My desire for power is good and some good, but it's also amoral. It's just in the context, you know what I'm saying?
I do. I know exactly. Like all of my brain is thinking right now is, God damn it! Thank you for saying that. Thank you for.
This is why we talk.
Giving me permission. That I'm literally now. I'm like going back through what I just said and just being like, how much of that it like just the moment you said that there's a piece of me that is also evil. You're
like, God damn it. Yeah,
I still got some work to do around being okay with that truth and with the not, what did my friend call it? Like I bubble wrapping things.
I hear you. Well, it's also
really proud of my response.
You did great.
But you're also right through it.
You're coming at it as a service provider, and that's a little different. Yeah. You know, that is a little different because there is something more like there's different constraints around that versus how we play in lifestyle, I think. Yeah. I don't think it can be, I mean, obviously it can't be the same across, we don't have sex, so, you know, well, not in here.
Not here.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Anyway, I think your response did make a lot of sense, and I agree with some of that. And also, you know,
and you are right. There is a part that I still am working through. I was like, there is a primal side to it. There is that little piece of it that I think I need to do some journaling about to integrate.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it's hard because, like we were talking about, it can just be a feeling. It's an embodied thing that you can't really attach story to.
Damn, she's good. It's almost like my problem is that I constantly intellectualize my thoughts to a fault and need to get more comfortable with just living and existing and feeling my feelings rather than defining my feelings.
You're a sapiosexual.
And a Virgo. And autistic.
I thought you were going to say and a virgin. Are you? I'm a sapiosexual and a virgin.
And we're back.
And we're back. Sorry. Did that answer the question?
Sure.
Okay.
It's okay because my next question is similar to that one. But in a broader sense, how would you describe your Dom style?
I like to explore all facets of my personality, but all the while it is playful. It is playful. There's humor. There has to be for me. That's just how it's going to be. I've never really been, like, I love performing and acting different roles and playing around with different moods, etc. But I'm also, I can't be mean all the time. That's just not who I am at all. And I think, you know, respect to to doms that inhabit, that fully embody that as who they are. You know, I mean, the old school, what we classically think of, the archetype of the dominatrix. You know, I can put that on, and Leah, is going to be like there the whole time as well.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
You know what I mean?
1 trillion%. Yeah. And I think that's also something that is a very large part of my life journey is having to accept and embrace that Serafina bleeds into everything I do.
Yeah.
And even when I was like an actor, even in all the like bajillion careers that I've had, that I can't be anything but me. I don't know how to break out of this. Like,
but that's fine, because that's how you make a legend. I mean, look at Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because there was some like class I was in that was talking about like the character actors versus like actors that like can get away with playing themselves, and like someone like a Zoe Deschanel is also someone who I was compared to in terms of being like kind of neurodivergent, quirky. People usually cast as or categorize like the manic pixie dream girl,
which is the neurodivergent.
Yeah, a reduced version of a neurodivergent person. And with that it's like figuring out like, okay, I can't get away from me, even though I literally identify as like fluidity and chameleon and abstract concept or whatever. Right. And so now trying to stop being like no longer apologizing for being such a complex little creature.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking awesome. And it's I gotta stop dimming my light. Because it just benefits everybody to be in my presence. Anywho, enough on that. Enough on me feeding my own ego. And Leah also feeding it. Thank you. Good friend. Leah's also great, and also everybody benefits from letting her. Otherwise, I wouldn't tolerate you. So. Yeah. The fact that you're even here, you should be honored. Like you should be proud of yourself. That you're in my friend group. That speaks volumes about who you are as a person.
I'll take it. I am proud of myself.
Best way. Good. Yeah, girl.
Aww. Anyway, don't do that to me. you know that's one of my glimmers. Anyway. Dom style. I guess I should say a little bit more about that.
Yes, please.
As far as style on a more superficial, surface level, I identify. It's discipline. Okay. It's discipline is the vibe, for sure.
Which I love. So you prefaced it like you started by being like, I am not just the old school disciplinarian.
No.
But you are the Mistress Leah Hunt disciplinarian.
Yes.
You are the cowboy disciplinarian. Which context, Leah identifies as more of a cowboy vibe, and I want to know what that means to you.
On the inside?
Yeah.
What
is the cowboy disciplinarian?
The cowboy disciplinarian. Well, I guess the cowboy, it's like the fuckboy disciplinarian. Except he's the
vibes.
You see what I mean?
Yep. The moment you said that, I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah. That it's and correct me if I'm wrong, but just as soon as you said that, it was like, oh, okay, so kind of just the anarchist, the outlaw, like rejecting society's power to create their own power. And
rejecting society's
very cult of Serafina.
Thank you.
That it's you're your own cowboy cult, and bitches better fall in line.
Right.
Oh, I love that. And I'm just seeing your whip cracking while you're on horseback riding off into the sunset with all of your space.
It's more like somebody's trying to run away and you're like, hold on, little doggy. You're not going anywhere. You get the lasso and you're like, or the whip, even better. Get ground by the ankle and they're like, oh shit.
We need to do a photo shoot of this.
That's the vibe. And of course also, whatever teacherly vibe I have sometimes, that's in there too. But it's
Cowboy's got a lot of wisdom.
Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. He's a harsh teacher. but
Yeah.
he does it with a twinkle in his eye.
The Wild Wild West is a harsh teacher.
It is.
I don't know what accent this is.
I don't know either.
I'm getting in a bit more. No, this is an Appalachian. No, now I'm just hearing. I'm seeing. We're gonna stop ourselves.
Yeah, we're going on. Well, also, I think that the cowboy thing, it gender-wise, it feels more correct.
Yeah.
You know, it feels more encompassing. Yeah.
Again, feels like you said, like with us, like identifying as a quest boy, like similarly having to accept like that's the like influences from society on these characters, on these models, on these archetypes, and that it's cowboy energy. I get that, and that's okay. And we can say that with that like informed mindset of what we really mean. So we're not going to bubble wrap that any further.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you my next question, Cowboy Leah Hunt. Describe for me, as Cowboy Leah, what would be the ideal session that would just let Cowboy Leah shine?
Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be impact involved. You know, I like spanking. That's one of my favorite things to do. So there will be spanking.
Good.
There will certainly be spanking involved. Right. There will be, I mean, there will be all the accoutrements of impact play. Although, to be honest, I'm more of I like canes, I like straps, I like paddles, I like the spanking. I'm not so much of a flogger. I'm getting better. I can do it. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing like it is somebody's thing.
And that's okay.
You know,
it takes all types to make the world go round. And that's why you bring me in for a cameo.
Exactly. Yeah. We have you flog, you know? Yeah. Because I just want to give a good old-fashioned beating in the way that a cowboy would. You know what I mean?
I see it.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a little saloon tumble.
Yeah. Okay, back to the ideal session. So it really would be with somebody who's new. That is my favorite type of client. It's somebody who's pretty new.
Yeah, I love that too.
You know, I also really love couples, and I've been getting a lot of couples lately, and it is so fun. They are the best.
With a couple, who is it? You're dominating both of them? Is one of them co-topping with you?
What's usually happened?
Teaching someone?
It usually is more teaching involved, and it's usually somebody is trying to. I'm usually instructing one person to dominate the other, and then at some point I like to switch, and that is fun. You know?
God, I love switch.
Yeah, we love like teaming up against someone and then flipping the plot. Yeah,
and that's I always say I love. With switching, it's like the concept of like overpowering and like very much that like halfway through it's like I don't care if I start as like the top or the bottom, the submissive or the dominant, like there's gonna be a switch. Yeah, for sure. And it might be unexpected. It's gonna be unexpected. That's I feel like that is the fun. So it's like, where did this switch in energy come from?
Oh, and it's fun.
And then like that shock for the person, especially like the dominant, to suddenly be like, oh no, like someone, like what is this to be at somebody else's mercy? How out of character for me. Which I feel like that is the big piece for me. Is I love it when it's the empowered submissive, like that they were both comfortable as submissive, but then also like unleashing or unlocking their dom side, and so that it kind of becomes like the dominant is like taken aback by like where did this energy come from, and the submissive's just fully fucking empowered. And again, as a switch for both of them, that it still is that it's like them discovering their switchiness, even if it is like scary in that moment or at first, that by the end of the scene for both of them, it's like that empowerment of being able to explore both sides of that energy. That integration, we love it.
Yummy. It's yummy. I think it's really fun. It's really fun for me because this often happens where, you know, there might be a dynamic that's established, but the submissive wants the dom to go harder and be more dominant. That has been the kind of the theme. Like whoever's in that submissive role, they want more, and it's like I get to be the person that's coaching them on how to
and make sure they do that safely.
Well, yeah, like how to slap somebody across the face in a way that won't fuck up their ear, which you know I did do while drunk, and I had a lot of shame about it. Yeah, that's what I'm. That's the switch I'm talking about, harming people. bop somebody real hard in the ear.
Yeah.
Bad move.
And that was like, I remember like my freshman year of college that like I had like a bullwhip that I did not know how to use for the life of me. But again, it's kind of like, what's like the digestible way that I could get away with using this or having this on me? And so I'd be like Indiana Jones for Halloween like every year. Would took that to a party, and it was one of the seniors that was like asking her, they're like, oh my god, like you have to use the whip on me, and it was like, you're consenting, and so I did it, and
What happened?
I wrapped that thing went around twice. That wrapping was, it looked like he had tattooed a red snake on him. It was a full like it was comical. Like the amount that thing like wrapped around, like I was like that shouldn't have been possible. Like it's not like it was 1,000 feet long. Like I to this day am like, it was this just like my drunk goggles.
It just like leapt out your hand.
Such a clear vision of it wrapping around twice, and like you like, and I remember seeing the little like red thing at the end that just like hit right in the middle, and it was like oddly like there was absolutely a part of me that enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that terrified me. Because again, it was like the harm OCD thing of that feeling of like, oh fuck, I enjoyed this. Oh fuck, like I need to control this. Oh fuck, like, what if I did even worse? Oh, I need to rein this in. And like, what have I unleashed? What have I done? I don't remember where we started.
Well, I love how especially because you weren't horrified at the effect. You were, but at the same time you were like, that's kind of fun. I mean, in my mind, hearing now, I'm like, that's a move, right?
Well, no, and like with the passing of time and the fading of that memory, it really has. I've really romanticized it.
I like it. I like the romanticization.
Especially because, so like in the moment, he was like, holy fuck, ow, what just happened? Oh my god. But it ended up working out well for me. Because again, everyone else spun that as like, oh shit, Seraphina's crazy. Like, oh shit, Seraphina's wild.
Right.
Oh, look what I won the Best Freshman Award. Which the reward was, okay, I need to preface this. It was not real. It was a gag gift, a cum shot.
That's absurd.
It was a sperm-shaped, like, eggnog shot. It was awful. It was horrific.
That's disgusting.
And of course I downed it like a champ. He was like, woo! Like classic, like, freshman being like, oh my god, amazing, everything's fine, I love it here. Like, what is going on? it was wild.
I wonder if it's gonna make
sequence of events.
I'm gonna buy some on the internet. Anyway.
Anyways, that was all of the questions that I had for you today.
Yeah. Right.
Is there anything else that you would like to reveal today? Specifically, I'd say like in the vein of your domination style or ideal session, ideal client, anything that you want to leave people with. What makes you you? What's a session with you?
You know, another ideal session component. I really want clients, and maybe this is also part of why, like, getting with people that are newer or, you know, just young. I want lifelong relationships. I do. I want like real human connections with people, not just, but like the type that you build over many, many, many years. I think it's beautiful when a person has been seeing the same mistress for many decades. It's really fucking cool and special.
100%.
You know, yeah, that's something that I want. Who knows? Maybe decades is a little much, but you know, just something.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like deeper relationships with people.
Well, I think both of us want to do this as our careers are going to be doing this for at least another decade.
Right.
So I don't think that a decades plural long relationship is unreasonable.
Yeah.
And we do see that, and I definitely I feel you there, and that there's something just so beautiful about that, and about the being able to see somebody's growth, and especially in this space of like being that vulnerable and being able to be so seen with someone and to be their guide.
Totally.
And to be their their collaborator too. Like that is I definitely agree with that.
Well, it's so beautiful when people actually want to work on themselves and use this that way and actually want to transform and change and be better out in the world, because that's to my point regarding the the feminist and the gangbang porn thing earlier. Bringing it back around. I think that by the stuff that we do in here can make you a better person.
For sure. This type of work has the immense potential to help people truly transform and heal, and thus like have that ripple effect into helping our society integrate and heal.
For sure.
And I'm manifesting that for you. I hope that you get people that want that. I hope I get people that want that.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see where your journey takes you and to see your career continue to expand and evolve and see you really step into Cowboy Mistress Leah Hunt.
Cowboy Mistress Leah Hunt. I like it.
I'm here for it. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to The Cult of Serafina.